to the No DQ live recap of WWE NXT for Tuesday, April 13th. This is the first NXT on USA Network recap. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate your viewership and support through this WrestleMania week. We are now post-WrestleMania, but this is night 14 of 17 straight nights of live streaming. We still have 3 more nights to go after this. We got Dynamite, we have the No DQ review, and then SmackDown to finish us off. It's been a wild ride, and I really do appreciate everybody tuning in. Let's go ahead and break down this show. We kicked off NXT with a promo from the new NXT World Champion, Karrion Kross, along with Scarlett. They made their big intro. The crowd chanted, "You deserve it." And Kross was maybe acting like a babyface. I'm not sure, but he talked about how it was only a matter of time before he returned to his ring and be in that ring with his championship. He praised Finn Balor, called Balor one of the greatest to ever step in the ring. There were fall and pray chants, and he was milking in the chants for sure. He said he is now in command of NXT. He challenged anybody to step up. He said he will take out everyone one by one until there is nobody left. He said, in the end, everyone will pay the toll. Very nice promo here from Karrion Kross, and no clear indication yet who will be challenging him, but he just won the title and, you know, let it breathe for a little bit, the idea of him being champion. And no Finn Balor on this show. I guess we'll have to wait and see what's next for Balor. A lot of people speculating about him. Atomic Cody says, "Good Lord, NXT was a breath of fresh air after the wet fart of Raw last night. NXT is going to do well on Tuesday nights." Yeah, this show was way better than Raw. I'll just get that out of the way right now. There was a recap of TakeOver, Stand and Deliver, which the announcers referred to as the most watched TakeOver in history. I guess when you combine Peacock and USA Network, they probably had a number at least close to 1 million, if not more than 1 million. But we don't know the actual Peacock numbers, but we do know that NXT on USA did close to 800,000. Shout out to Muhammad. He's late, but better late than never in the chat room. We had MSK versus Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. And one little cool feature, I haven't noticed this other weeks, maybe they've been doing it and I've just been paying more attention to Dynamite, but I like how they show photos on the screen where the Thunderdome fans usually are. They put these pictures on the screen, and in this case they showed photos from the pay-per-view. I thought that was a really cool thing, something I haven't seen before. Wanted to give that a compliment. This was a pretty solid match. The champs had the early advantage, worked over Drake Maverick for a while, but then Killian Dane came in, and actually what Dane did was he stopped a pinfall, and then he dragged Drake into their corner and tagged himself in. I'm shocked more people don't do this, and you know, all these matches you see the guy just standing out there waiting for the hot tag. Why not just get in, break up a hot tag, and pull your guy to your corner and tag him that way? So yeah, first time I've really seen something like that too. Dane came in and he picked up Drake. He was going to use Drake to powerbomb Drake on one of the MSK guys, but that guy moved out of the way. And then Dane was taken out of the equation, sent to the outside. MSK double-teamed Maverick, of course. He was the one that got pinned. Maverick taking the fall here, and still your tag team champions, MSK. Atomic Cody says there were some boos for MSK. Seems people think it's too soon for them. Well, I'm not sure if it's that or if people just like the team of Killian Dane and Drake Maverick. Their music is something else. I will say that. It's interesting. And after the match, Alexander Wolf came into the ring and confronted Dane. And then Imperium attacked Dane from behind and left him laying. Imperium still a force on NXT. We did see Walter at the end of the show via a video package hyping up Imperium, but the belief is that Walter will be gone for the time being. However, Imperium will still be making their presence felt. We had Mercedes Martinez backstage confronting Robert Stone, wanting money from him. I haven't been following a lot of NXT, so I'm not sure what this storyline is about, but there was a match between Mercedes and Jessie Kamei, and Mercedes picked up a quick victory, almost a squash match here. And long story short, she confronted Robert Stone, she chased him, she caught him, and she got her money. And then she issued a challenge to Raquel Gonzalez and basically sent a warning that she's coming for that title. And of course, Raquel Gonzalez, the new NXT Women's Champion. We'll talk more about that in a few moments here. We had a recap of Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole from the Stand and Deliver pay-per-view. And they showed some footage that was not seen on the pay-per-view with both of them on stretchers. On the pay-per-view, Adam Cole was being stretchered out and O'Reilly was walking to the back on his own 2 feet. But then they were both on stretchers being taken out at the same time. And Cole was yelling at O'Reilly, "You are finished, you son of a bitch. You ain't shit." So it looks like that feud's going to continue. Somehow after that match, we had Isaiah Swerve Scott in his studio, cutting a promo and hyping up his match with Leon Ruff for later. And then we had the new Cruiserweight champion, Santos Escobar, issue an open challenge. He cut a promo talking about how 1 year ago the Cruiserweight title was from a forgotten division, but now the sideshow has become the prime time. He talked about stealing the show at the pay-per-view, and as it turns out, Kushida accepted the challenge. Escobar blew him off, calling him a loser, and actually sent his guys away because he felt like Kushida was a joke and he could handle him. So the other members of Legado del Fantasma were taken out. Voluntarily, they were sent to the back. And we had our match here. Escobar worked over Kushida for a while, kept trash talking, calling him a loser. Kushida made a comeback and hit a suplex off the top, which almost won the match for him, but Escobar got his foot on the rope. And then Escobar hit a backstabber, and then he went for the Phantom Driver, but Kushida countered it into a pin. But then there was several reversals of the pin with Kushida shocking everybody. I mean, shocking me for sure, picking up the surprise win to become the new Cruiserweight champion just 1 week after Escobar won that ladder match. Kushida wins the title from him. I did not expect that. But I guess your first night on USA, you want to do a big moment with a title change. I get it. And Kushida gets a nice win here in NXT. You know, he's been putting over a lot of people, and this is maybe his biggest win in NXT to date. Caleb Jacobs sent in a very generous $15.50 super chat. Thank you, Caleb. He says, "Finally, wrestling that actually makes sense to me. This isn't WWE. We are NXT." Thank you for that, Caleb. And Dr. NXT Scorpio says, "Did not expect Escobar to lose the title just after winning the ladder match." I'm with you on that. Colin Andrews said, "Solid showing tonight from NXT." Atomic Cody says, "Kushida finally gets a big win in championship in NXT." Michael Wayne says he was shocked. And You know, Escobar, is he too small to be a cruiserweight? Maybe. Perhaps he'll be moving on to bigger things in NXT. But yeah, I was definitely surprised by this one. We had a promo from Ciampa and Thatcher backstage, and they talked about how the Dusty Classic tested them as a tag team, and now they're coming for MSK. Looks like we're going to see Ciampa and Thatcher continue to go after the tag team titles and be a tag team. Backstage, we had Jordan Devlin congratulating Kushida and said just because somebody climbs up a ladder doesn't make them a better wrestler. And Devlin called Kushida a lucky man. Devlin said he'll be going home for a while, but when he gets back, he's hopeful that Kushida will still be champion and they can have a match for that title. We had Dakota Kai introducing the new NXT Women's Champion, Raquel Gonzalez. She came to the ring, and again, the fans with the "you deserve it" makes me wonder, do I really want fans back at the Thunderdome? Like, I get it, they deserve it, but you do it for like every person that wins the title. Whatever, it's nitpicking. So anyways, Gonzalez brought up her USA Network debut, how she was supposed to debut on that show, but she wasn't ready yet. She had to work hard, bust her ass, train, and with Dakota Kai's help and motivation, she is now the NXT Women's Champion. Basically, this was a babyface turn, I guess, for Raquel Gonzalez, because she also praised Io Shirai, called her a great champion, said the Raquel era has begun. And to further that it's a face turn, we had Frankie Monet, formerly Taya Valkyrie in Impact Wrestling. She made her first appearance on the brand, introduced herself, and Raquel issued a warning, don't interrupt her again or she'll shove the dog. I believe she said shoving the dog up her ass, but it was in Spanish. But I mean, she pointed at the dog, so there you go. And Monet took her leave. She had enough for one night, and that's when all of a sudden Rhea Ripley's music hit. Rhea Ripley, the new Raw Women's Champion, came into the ring and hugged her. They toasted the titles, and then we had Bianca Belair also appear, the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Really cool moment here, all three of them in the ring together with their titles, and a photo was shown on the big screen of the three of them a year or two ago. I thought this was a really nice touch to have all three ladies in there holding up the titles, and hey, it builds up NXT even more because now the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions, NXT is where they got their start. Great segment here. Liked the introduction of Mrs. John Morrison, as Mohammed points out, Frankie Monet, and I like the dog being part of the act too. We had a quick Pete Dunne promo, talked about how he proved he's the best technical wrestler in WWE, and he wants championship gold. Then we had a video package for Saray, a Japanese female superstar, and William Regal talked about how she's the warrior of the sun. He's been trying to sign her for a while. She's finally going to debut in NXT next week. Regal's confident with Asuka and Io Shirai and Kairi Sane being successful that she's going to have a good run in NXT. And Amanda in the chat said she cried watching the segment. It was beautiful in regards to the three champions in the ring at the same time. Definitely a really cool moment. And Atomic Cody says the same thing. We had Roderick Strong approach William Regal in the backstage conference room and I guess handed over his resignation. He is quitting NXT. Regal asked him, are you sure about this? Strong said he's sure, and Regal said he's welcome back anytime. I guess we'll have to see where this goes in the future. Interesting. We then had Leon Ruff versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. And this was a really good match. very fun to watch. Ruff brought the fight, got a lot of near falls, did a lot of flashy moves. He did a dive off the top rope. He did a top rope Hurricane Rana, but all that was not enough to put away Scott. Scott did eventually get the win, but then backstage, Swerve cut a promo saying he's done with Ruff once and for all, and Ruff attacked him and said it's not over till he says it's over. You got to admire the heart of young Leon Ruff, the fighting spirit that he has. And then backstage, Zoe Stark cut a promo, and Mercedes Martinez interrupted that and called her a rookie. Where have we heard that line before? And I guess they're going to have a match coming up. And then we had the main event, which was The Way versus Dexter Lumis, Bronson Reed, Ember Moon, and Shotzi Blackheart. TJS with a $3 super chat says, would you like to see Triple H wrestle a takeover once? If the circumstances were right, I guess it would need to be the right storyline. Otherwise, I would not do it just for the sake of doing it. But yeah, if there's like a really good reason to do it, sure, why not? I say you got to do it at least once as like a bucket list thing. But again, you got to find the right opportunity to do it. So anyways, our main event, 8-person mixed tag team match. The Way, all 4 of them working together in the match. Dexter Lumis just standing there, not showing any emotion. And Dexter Lumis tagged in and worked over Gargano. And then he went over to Indy Hartwell, and, you know, there's like this romance storyline going on between them, and it was teased that they were going to kiss, but then Gargano attacked Lumis. And then after the commercial break, things started to break down with everybody getting into the ring. Candice LeRae tried to do a dive onto Bronson Reed. That did not work, and the ladies kept going after the guys. Ember did a dive to Gargano, and Candice did a DDT to Lumis on the outside. And then Shotzi volunteered herself, so Bronson Reed picked her up and press slammed her over the top onto everybody. And then Lumis got the silence on Gargano, and that's when Indy came into the ring. She wanted to save her man, Gargano, her teammate, I should say. But then she laid down on the ground, acted like she was in distress and she needed help. Lumis looked after her, showing the compassion. And then Austin Theory attacked Lumis, sent him out of the ring. And then Indy took Austin and threw him out of the ring and fell to the mat again. Lumis grabbed her and carried away to the back. And she looked at the camera and gave the thumbs up. I'm liking this storyline with them. I gotta say, it's interesting. It's adding some layers to Dexter Lumis. And Michael with a $2 super chat says hashtag index. There you go. That's their official hashtag. And Hamp Connor with a $2 super chat says Gonzalez is the itty bitty T committee, whatever that means. And back to the match here, we had after they were gone, you had Ember Moon getting on Bronson Reed's shoulders and hitting a super eclipse to Austin Theory, and Theory sold it like crazy. Like, I love the way he sold the eclipse. It was so good. And then Bronson Reed hit the big Theory splash, or hit the big splash to Theory to pick up the win for the baby faces in this match. Really fun match to end the show. I enjoyed it. I liked the storyline with Indy and Lumis. So all in all, very good NXT episode to start off the new era on Tuesday nights. Main event was fun. You had some good matches. You had the title change, which I wasn't expecting. You had the surprise appearances of Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. Mike says, Aaron, I am so hyped after tonight. Needed this. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna give it an A-. It was a damn good show, and very strong start for NXT. And A lot of questions about what's next, keeping you interested in tuning in next week. Mike Mira gives it an A. Mike B with an A-. CC Drink with an A-. Israel, the game is on 100, and Michael Wayne all with an A-. Tic Tat Tat with a B+. Jeremy Dorset with an A-. Atomic Cody with a solid A. And Michael also gives it a solid A. And it was way better than Raw. Will probably end up being better than SmackDown, but we'll see what they do for SmackDown this coming Friday. So again, everybody, make sure you check out the No DQ YouTube channel and subscribe if you haven't already. More content coming up in the coming days. This was day 14 of 17 days. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I will be back next time for AEW Dynamite. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you then.